Welcome everybody. My brother Oliver and my father Michael just saw the movie Disclosure Day, and we wanted to have a quick chat about it, so be forewarned, this is full of spoilers. This is our reflection and review of the movie, and of course, I am Max Ray. First thoughts, what did you guys think of the movie? Did you enjoy it?
I thought it was good, but I thought it was too focused on like the actions and stuff like that. And a lot of the action scenes were really unrealistic.
It's funny that you say that because in the car ride, Mike was talking about how one of his favorite scenes was unrealistic action scene. Tell us about your favorite scene.
It was definitely that train scene when the car was being pulled by the train for that long distance. And then they think they're going to get out of it, and the guy that tried to murder him in the first place comes driving, shooting at him. I thought it was awesome. It's actually one of the best I've ever seen.
Wow. That train was pulling the car for so long. I was like, there's no way the train could pull the car that long.
I really don't like car chase scenes that much. They overdo it in Hollywood and all the movies. It's like it's all the same thing. Cars going fast, squealing tires. But the train one in this movie was spectacular.
Yeah, that's cool. And it actually really surprised me how much of an action movie this movie was. So I'm the type of person that I don't like to see a trailer for a movie. When I walk into a movie, all I want to know is if it's good or bad, is it getting good reviews, and then I want to be surprised from the very first scene of the movie. I don't want to say, yep, saw that in the trailer, and there's no suspense for me anymore, so I like being surprised. Now, I thought this movie was going to be about Disclosure Day happening right away, and then the reaction that the world would have. How are people going to handle it? The philosophical impact of the whole world knowing that we're not alone, that there's aliens here on our planet, and what that means for religion, and what that means for people to get up every day and go do their jobs when they realize such a huge worldview-shaking revelation. I thought this movie was going to be about that, and I walk in and it is literally an action movie where the whole movie is about getting to Disclosure Day, but literally the movie ends as they're disclosing the information, so you don't really get to see much of a reaction or how it's going to be. I mean, it'd be great to have a sequel. I feel like there won't be, but yeah, maybe there will.
It's
I mean, they
like
could.
the perfect setup.
But I feel like so many movies bring you to the precipice of the point where there's going to be a huge change, and then they leave it there and they don't ever come back to it. But that'd be cool if they did. So yeah, this was an action movie. Very little about the philosophical discussion and introspection on disclosing the fact that there are aliens here on Earth. Which, by the way, do you guys believe that there are aliens here on Earth as we speak right now?
I do.
I doubt it, but I'm open-minded to it because obviously there has to be aliens that, are out on different planets and things. Just like there's not only one cockroach, there's not only one mouse, there's not only one building, there's not only one eye, there's not only one human. I mean, it goes on and on. There's really, how could we be the only one with billions of planets out there and we're the only one where there's, humans? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the three of us can all agree that there's certainly aliens in the universe, at
Correct.
least on other planets. Now, whether they're here on Earth, well, that's another story. Let's actually go around and give our percentage chances. So I'm going to say there's a 90% chance that there's life on other planets that haven't reached Earth. That there's just life in general on other planets. What do you guys think?
I would go with 99.9%.
I would say, 100% there's life on other planets.
100%. This man has conviction.
Yeah.
Okay, now
I
let's...
left, 1.01 on there.
I'm more of a perceiving and open-ended guy. I've been surprised so many times, so I leave a lot of wiggle room. So let's think about, have aliens visited Earth, and have we seen them?
And what percent chance?
Yeah, what percent chance do we believe that aliens have been here and visited Earth?
I think there's a 90% chance that aliens have visited Earth.
And that at least one human has seen them?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you could say, aliens visited Earth 3 billion years ago after the Earth existed, we wouldn't
I'd say
know.
it's like a 99% chance. I mean, there's lots of testimonies of people getting abducted by aliens and seeing aliens.
All right. Mike, what do you think?
I'll go with 1% chance.
So Ali said 99% chance? Mm-hmm. And you said the opposite, 1%
chance.
I'm going to say a 10% chance that aliens have visited Earth. I really doubt it. I don't think so. And now we can go around and give our explanations why. So you go first, Mike.
Well, there's 9 planets now around Earth, right? Venus, Mars, all those.
Pluto was demoted.
There's only one habitable for, humans, and that's only Earth, because Mars is too hot, Pluto's too cold. So I would say the nearest planet you go from planet to planet where there could be other forms of life on those different planets. None of us have ways to go and visit these other planets and intermingle. And that's starting to happen. Earth is here, and planet XYZ is 100 million light years over there. And yeah, there could be people or Martians on there, but the chance of the two of us, visiting each other's planets are like so remote. I mean, really, we've never visited a planet yet. We don't have one person that's visited a planet.
Yeah, we have had people on the moon, and then we have sent rovers and machines to Mars and other planets. But yeah, we have not sent a physical being successfully to another planet yet.
Yeah, and that was very interesting. The pictures I've seen from Mars, from our robots that were sent up there, there's just very little sign of life. I mean, there's erosion and stuff, and it looks like there used to be water on there, but somehow they lost the water. But even if they have water, it's so hot on that planet Mars. I forgot what it gets up to in the daytime, but it's a lot. High temperatures.
Ollie, what's your reasoning for your 90%?
99%.
99% chance that aliens have visited and interacted with humans.
There's way too many testimonies of people interacting with aliens and seeing aliens or being tested on by aliens or even having hybrid children with aliens. These people don't really have anything to gain by lying about it. They don't really profit off of it. Well, I guess sometimes you can write a book about it and I guess you could profit off it that way. But it seems like it destroys your reputation, and I don't think there'd be so many people talking about specific experiences being abducted by aliens or seeing aliens or interacting with them just to be making it up. I don't think they have that much to gain.
But the only problem is that there's no concrete proof that any of these things that have been reported where I've got the DNA. I pulled off a piece of the Martian's hair. Why don't you do a DNA thing? You'll see that it's not human.
What other evidence do you have?
Eyewitness testimony at the site of Travis Walton's abduction. The trees grew really fast, and trees are known to grow faster with radiation. And then with crop circles, there's what I think is video evidence of a crop circle being made. You can find it online where you see these floating kind of like little orbs that light up, and they just kind of make the crop circle. And when people test the crop circles, they're bent in a way that's impossible to do it with wooden boards or by humans. And there's some special radiation that they find that the plants of the crop circles as well. And then also the rate at which the crop circles are popping up is too fast for, some covert group of hoaxers that are making it with human hands. There's just too many popping up around the world in such a fast way.
It's interesting that my father and brother both have strong opinions. They're both 99% or 1%. I give it a little more leeway and understand that there's a lot about the world and universe that I don't know. So that's why I say there's a 10% chance of aliens being here and contacting humans. The big reason why I say that is because I feel like if there was definitive proof, we would know by now. If there was hands down scientific proof that aliens existed and that they've been here and contacted humans, it would have been front page news on every news organization, and everybody would have known a long time ago when it first happened. And the fact that that hasn't happened makes me think it's more of a conspiracy that people want to believe in. Maybe there's some government experiments going on where people are abducted. There's all sorts of things that can happen. Now, I'm not the most reliable person to tell you whether or not that aliens have visited Earth. And the reason why is I feel like I don't need to research it because I don't feel like it's going to affect my life. There's some conspiracies that might affect my life more than knowing if aliens have contacted humans. For example, if the government is using some sort of terrible pesticide that's going to cause me cancer or do some covert injection that's going to be unhealthy for me, me knowing that conspiracy and testing the validity and researching it myself is very important to my direct life and affects me in a direct way. So I would take the time and energy it takes to research that and make an informed decision. However, with aliens existing and contacting humans, it really doesn't change my life at this point, at least. So yes, they contacted humans. What does that mean? Am I going to change anything about my behavior tomorrow? Probably not. They didn't contact humans. Am I going to change anything? Probably not. So I just think if it was real and it was proven, it'd be out there already. But I do give it a 10% chance. Anything's possible. So yeah, it is possible.
When they find proof of an alien that's visited Earth, that will be a gigantic news story, and we've had nothing like that. Only these vague reports of, oh, I saw this UFO, and there was a Martian inside of it winking at me. Well, where's your proof, sir? Well, you gotta believe me. You just gotta believe me. You know what I'm saying, Max and Ollie?
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of things can be covered up, and a lot of real things can happen that are important, but the government can cover it up because the government controls the media and has the ability to suppress information and to discredit information.
All right, I want to know on a scale of 1 to 10 what each one of us says about that movie. I'll start. I give it a 7.5. What do you give it, man?
I give it a 6.5 out of 10. 6 to 6.5.
Okay, Ollie?
I thought it was just too much focused on the nitty-gritty of all the action events. And the other stuff was great, but too much focus on the action. I thought the ending was great, so maybe 7.5 as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is not Steven Spielberg's best work, I can tell you that.
Yeah, you know, it was interesting. Parts of this movie definitely reminded me of Minority Report, like when these cars and teams of police are coming down on a building or a location and swarming them. It reminded me of when Tom Cruise was holed up in some house and the helicopter came and all the cops came. Just like the way that he moves the camera as all these cars and stuff are pulling up has a very Spielberg signature to it. But yeah, definitely an action movie. There wasn't much on the philosophical side of how would people react from aliens. I guess it did touch on it a little bit, which was nice, is when Jane, the girlfriend, called the nunnery that she was a part of and asked the head nun, do you believe that aliens can exist on other planets? She quoted a Bible verse saying that humans are the supreme beings on Earth, which means that there could also be other supreme beings on other planets. So that kind of showed what Spielberg's thoughts are, that even if there are aliens, that doesn't deny the existence of God.
It could have been a lot better of a movie if it focused less on the action and focused more on everything else that it was doing in the movie. I was kind of getting annoyed up until the point when they disclosed it on the news station. But when they disclosed it on the news station to the end of the movie, I thought all of that was really good. So it kind of like saved the movie for me.
Yeah, and just to lay out the plot for you guys, so obviously spoilers, basically there is this guy that works for the secret alien government organization that has the proof that aliens are there, you know, interacting with humans, and he steals the proof as well as this powerful alien device and wants to leak it to the world with the help of Hugo, who's the mastermind of the disclosure. And then basically that organization goes on a hunt and tries to track these people down and stop them. And eventually, through working together and using their alien powers, they are able to overcome and actually disclose the information. Now, there are two people that were abducted by aliens when they were children, and the aliens gave one of them the power to understand and manipulate people, Margaret, the female, and then they gave Kelner, the male, the ability to understand math and manipulate numbers. The aliens gave them basically superhuman powers on both sides of the equation. I think that's because they were brother and sister, and for whatever reason, they needed to be separated for these sequence of events to happen that would bring them to this disclosure day. We can ask AI, what did you guys think?
I don't think they were necessarily brother and sister, but they could have been, I guess.
Why don't we guess? I think they were brother and sister. Mike, what do you think?
It was her house that she grew up in. They didn't say it was both of your houses.
Yeah, that's true. They might not be. Let's see
No,
what
they
AI
aren't.
says.
They aren't.
Okay, so they are not brother and sister, according to AI. The film reveals that this connection stems from a shared childhood trauma. They were both abducted by the same group of extraterrestrials. So that's that moment when they're both in the ship together, getting their powers injected onto them, and they held hands. But I guess what made me think they might have been brothers and sisters because he said he couldn't remember anything before a specific age. And I wonder why they focused so much on her being in her house that she grew up in, and they didn't do the same thing for Kelner.
Yeah, that kind of made the movie a little bit weak.
It would have been cool if they were brother and sister, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna drop my rating down to 7.
You thought they didn't do enough backstory on Kelner?
Yeah, we don't understand the relationship of Kelner and the woman.
Yeah, like why were they chosen
Well, no.
to be picked by the aliens to be given superpowers?
Yeah.
Why did it take so long?
Yeah, there's so many questions to this movie.
Yeah, there are. So another big question we had was at the end of the movie when they are about to disclose everything at the news broadcast station, the quote-unquote bad guys who are trying to stop the disclosure break in, and Scanland's the bad guy's name, and he's about to shut the whole thing down, but Margaret does have that alien device that is powerful in her hand, and he decides to sit down and watch it happen while his underling says, hey, aren't you going to stop them? Why aren't you stopping them? So I guess we can only guess, and then we'll look at AI. I think that he gave up stopping them because she had that powerful device in her hand, and he knew it would be futile at this point because she was too powerful and she could just stop him if she wanted to. Why do you guys think Scanland, the bad guy, stopped at the end?
I don't know why he stopped at the end.
So AI basically gives a long-winded, detailed explanation that's kind of a lot of parts to it, but basically he just gave up because he knew he couldn't stop them at this point. She was too powerful, all the whistleblowers were there, you know, the network was back up and running, it was just over at that point. And it says that he was exhausted from it. That was it.
That was cool how they immediately circled the building to get rid of power. I like that. They put those magnet bombs on them, on the electrical facility.
It was really cool. First they fired an EMP that shut down the whole place, and then they went right into the backup generator and shut that down
Yeah,
too.
that was smart, the backup generators. And they were taking so long to get on the air while these people are running around the buildings destroying the electric.
What are some other cool things we could talk about this movie? Ali, you got anything coming to mind?
I find it hard to believe that humans would decide to torture this alien knowing that it might piss off some of the other fellow aliens to destroy them or destroy humans. It was early in the movie.
I mean, you could just chalk that up to the military-industrial complex, that anybody in the military is going to say, oh, what's this alien technology? We could use it as a weapon. We need to find out how to use this weapon. Tell us how to use this weapon, gray man.
Waterboard them. Waterboarding aliens.
Yeah. Little do we know, he actually breathes water too, so he doesn't even mind. He feels like we're giving him a nice bath or massage.
In the files that the guy was about to leak, that the humans were like torturing aliens, I feel like the aliens would be more advanced and like would be able to defend themselves better or like have power over the people trying to torture them. You know,
Yeah.
maybe he could telepathically call for his alien friends to save them or something.
Right, or just manipulate them and turn into a long-lost relative like Margaret was doing throughout the movie.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And it's like, they're aliens that have such advanced technology that they were able to come from the other side of the galaxy or the universe, and then they come on Earth and they crash. And then another unbelievable thing is that not only do they crash, but then they're sitting there breathing air. That's one thing that makes me doubt the existence of aliens too, is that, you know, we have these little gray men. Why would they look like men? Like, look at all the types of creatures here on Earth. Look at some of these deep sea creatures, these octopuses, and these weirdly shaped creatures all over the Earth. Yet the alien on the other side of the galaxy happens to look basically just like a human, but a little bit shorter and a big gray head with big eyes. It's like, what's the chances of that?
Yeah.
And then in this movie, what are the chances that they breathe oxygen? Like the same air that we breathe here, they just can breathe it right in.
And or that their bodies can take the specific air pressure of Earth.
Yeah, and temperature.
Right.
Great points.
Well, I feel like a lot of life-sustaining planets have the same chemical makeup, similar climates and makeup in the air. Like, I feel like there's a lot of planets that are similar to Earth in the universe, where we could visit that planet and people from that planet could visit our planet.
Yeah. Yeah, once again, I just want to say, like, I feel like Disclosure Day, the sequel, would be the movie I would really want to see. I want to see what happens after the disclosure happens.
Yes.
You know, that's the most interesting part. Okay.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
There will be a sequel to this because the
Okay.
setup is too perfect.
I hope you're right, but we'll see, because it needs to be successful in the box office. I don't think it's quite broke even yet. It might
How long
just
has it
barely.
been out? About 3 days?
No,
it's been out for like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks, and it needs to clear 300 million to be in the black, and I believe it's at like 150 or maybe 200 million at this point. I have to double check. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what happens when the disclosure happens. Aliens are here, everybody knows about it, they're communicating with humans, like, are they good, are they bad, like, how do we work together, do we work together? You know, what's the next step would be very interesting to see.
So the government is known to influence Hollywood movies, so I'm wondering if there's some sort of agenda behind this movie. I know that it left out one widely discussed species of alien, which are called reptilians, that Hollywood never really does anything on reptilians.
Yeah, you know, that's a really interesting point. Like, a lot of people think that the government and the powers that be can actually use movies to prime us and get us ready for things in the future. For example, one people might point to the film Contagion as a primer for COVID. You know, there was basically that movie Contagion with Matt Damon where there was this worldwide pandemic and it shut everything down. And it was this big, intense situation. And that happened a few years before COVID. And that showed everybody what to be prepared for.
Yeah, I find it really unrealistic.
So now that we've kind of talked about the movie and fleshed it out, have your opinions on the movie changed? It seems like you have a lower opinion of the movie now, huh, Mike?
Yeah. Not that great of a movie.
Yeah, what do you give it now?
6.5. My final.
Yeah, you came down to me. I'm between a 6 and a 6.5. Ollie?
Yeah, I guess there were just a lot of parts that didn't really make sense, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
So what's your score now that you have had time to digest it?
And what was his previous score?
He gave it a 7.5, just like you.
So maybe a 7 now.
All right.
Okay.
I'll say so. So yeah. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's
All right.
seeable. It's a seeable movie.
Yeah, especially if you like action and you just want to, veg out and enjoy some shooty and some chasey. This could be your flick. Although even then, it's not really as good as like an action movie that's specifically for action. It's not going to be the same level of action as James Bond or Mission Impossible or Fast and the Furious, but it is more of an action movie with a little mix of a psychological component looking at the impact of the alien disclosures. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thank y'all.
This has been our reflection on Disclosure Day.
We disclosed it.
And you watch the screens, and we'll watch the sky. Diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo.